Oh, what's going on, guys? HK Titan here with a brand new video for you guys. But first things first, as always, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. For today's video, we're going to go ahead and jump back into our Bloons Tower Defense 6 walkthrough / playthrough / guide. And for today's guide, we're going to go ahead and jump into a Monkey Meadow Chimps mode. So for this mode, I'm going to go ahead and mix things up a little bit. I'm not going to be going with the usual Avatar Wrath strategy. I'm going to go ahead and use a Wizard strategy. So for this guide, you guys will need a couple of towers unlocked, and the towers that you guys are going to need unlocked are relatively simple. So the first one is going to be the Prince of Darkness. The next tower that you guys are going to need is you're going to need the Wizard Lord Phoenix as well. So both of the towers are going to need to be the Wizard Monkey, but it shouldn't be too hard for you guys to go ahead and unlock those, because the Wizard Monkey is one of those towers that you can go ahead and use in pretty much every single game mode. Then the next tower that you guys are going to need is you guys are going to need the Call to Arms unlocked, as well as you guys will go ahead and you guys will need a Glue Gunner unlocked. The only thing with the Glue Gunner is you will need to have him upgraded to Moab Glue with Glue Splatter, and as far as that's pretty much all the towers that we're going to need for this chimp strategy. So for the chimp strat, I will be using Quincy as my hero because, as you guys may or may not know, Quincy is the best boy. So right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and start off with Quincy. Now with Quincy, we want to go ahead and place him right here in the bottom left-hand corner of this little section here, like so. And now that we have our Quincy down, we can go ahead and press play. So because Quincy is the best boy and he's a great hero to start off a majority of the chimps maps with, we're going to go ahead and rely on him to go ahead and take care of these first couple of rounds while we're saving up to buy our first tower. So the first tower that I want to go with is, I'm not going to be starting off with the Ninja Monkey this time, but opposed to starting off with the Ninja Monkey, I'm actually going to be starting off with the Wizard. Now the good thing about going straight into the Wizard opposed to going with the Ninja Monkey is that we're going to go ahead and get a lot of bang for our buck. So when I place down my Wizard, I want to place him as far to the left as I can get him, and then raise him up as far as we can get him as well. So right about here should work. I mean, the placement doesn't have to be perfect. The only thing I want is I want to make sure when I upgrade my Wizard Monkey up to the Wall of Fire that the Wall of Fire is gonna be able to hit these balloons twice, which is why we want to take it as far to the left as we can get it and as far up as we can get it as well. So the first upgrade path that I'm going to go for on the Wizard is I'm going to be going for the Fireball. As soon as I get the Fireball, the next thing that I want to go for is I instantly want to go for the Wall of Fire. Now the Wall of Fire is a little bit of a pricey investment, sitting at a whopping $970. But I promise you guys, the Wall of Fire is just one of those upgrades that I do recommend you guys getting, because it is extremely overpowered, especially well, actually it's pretty much overpowered in a majority of maps, because it just does so much damage for such a cheap price. Alright, there we go. We have our Wall of Fire, and it looks like we got the placement that I wanted. It should be able to hit the balloons twice, once as they pass through here, and then once as they come back down towards the bottom. If they don't, then it's not the end of the world. It's just like it would be nice to have a tower that can go ahead and hit the balloons twice. Alright, so there we go. We have our Intense Magic. Then we're going to go ahead and upgrade it to Monkey Sense as well. That way we can go ahead and make sure that our Wizard Monkey is actually going to be able to see camo balloons as well. Even though we have Quincy, and then Quincy should be able to see camo balloons before round 24, it's still nice to have a little bit of added security. So now that we have our Wizard Monkey, the next thing that I want to go for is I'm going to go ahead and grab the Ninja Monkey. I really do like starting off with the Ninja Monkey for the simple fact that you do get that early game camo popping power. And then on top of that, you also get a little bit more bang for your buck. And he also has a pretty decent attack, or he also has decent attack power as well. Alright, so with this Ninja Monkey, we want to place him pretty much right next to our Quincy. The reason why we want to place him right next to our Quincy is because we're going to go ahead and buff both our Quincy and our Ninja Monkey with an Alchemist as soon as we get our Ninja Monkey upgrade to Bloon Jitsu. So Bloon Jitsu is another one of those little bit of an expensive upgrades, but again guys, it's 100% worth it. So that's why I generally like to go for the Bloon Jitsu and Ninja Monkeys, especially on these beginner maps, because it does allow for a little bit of air, plus it's kind of a cookie cutter setup here. You just place down your Ninja Monkey, upgrade him to Bloon Jitsu, or if you need to wait to buy your hero, you just upgrade him to a 201. You buy your hero, and then you go ahead and finish up upgrading him up to a double shot. You grab your Alchemist, and like I was saying, it's just a pretty easy strategy, especially if you're a little bit newer to balloons and you're struggling with the first couple of rounds. It is a very strong strategy to use. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not the end-all be-all strat, especially when you start advancing further further and getting into some of the harder maps. But at the same time, like I was saying, it is a very, very good strategy to use. So now that we have our Balloon Jitsu and Ninja Monkey, the next thing that we want to do is we want to go for our Alchemist. Now, because we bought our Wizard Monkey at the start, opposed to waiting until until the later rounds, we are going to be set back just a little bit, and we won't be able to afford our tier 4 until like round 38 or 39. But as long as we have our Alchemist upgrade to a tier 4 before round 30 or round 40, then we should be good to go. So with this Alchemist, where we want to place him is we want to place him so he's directly below our Ninja Monkey, like so. Now we're gonna go ahead and upgrade our Alchemist up to Acidic Mixture Dip. We're gonna grab the Berserker Brew, and then of course we're gonna grab our Stronger Stimulant before round 40. Now I know, guys, I am talking a lot before round 40, but that's just because like once we get to round 40, it's pretty much there's pretty much nothing that we need to do. We just need to save up money for our Prince of Darkness. Then once we get our Prince of Darkness, it's just more sitting around up until the point where we can afford to buy the Wizard Lord Phoenix. Now the good part about this strategy is that there really isn't any not micro, but you really don't need to use any abilities up until round 96, I think, is when we start using our abilities. But that's kind of why I like this strat so much, is that it's a pretty strong strat. I do think it might be a little bit weaker than the Avatar Rast strat, but the only reason why I think it's a little bit weaker is, of course, because you do need to activate a couple of abilities. Alright, so there we go, guys. We have our Alchemist upgrade to Stronger Stim. We were easily able to deal with round 40. Now the next thing that we need to do is we just need to upgrade our Wizard Monkey all the way up to the Prince of Darkness. So guys, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do a little bit of a speedy bit all the way up until the point where we can afford to buy the Prince of Darkness. I'll bring you guys back as soon as I do. Alright guys, here we are on round 56, and as you guys can see, we can go ahead and afford to buy our Prince of Darkness. So guys, now that we have our Prince of Darkness, we are setting extremely good, and we're pretty much good all the way up until like round 85. I think that's how long the Prince of Darkness can hold out by himself. He does struggle a little bit with the ZOMGs, but as long as you have enough popping power in order to deal with the ZOMGs, then you're pretty much good to go. So now that we have the Prince of Darkness, I did say that we were going to be going for the Wizard Lord Phoenix as well, which is that's the next tower that we're going to end up going for. So what I want to do with this Wizard Monkey is I want to place him right next to our Prince of Darkness, like so. And with this Wizard Monkey, we're going to go ahead and upgrade him all the way to the middle pathway. Of course, we're going to grab the Monkey Sense as well. Eventually, we will be buying a MIB and all that fun stuff, but that's not going to come until after we get the Wizard Lord Phoenix. Alright guys, like I was saying, there's not really much or too much else that we need to do. The reason why I wanted to switch things up opposed to using the Druid strat is because I wanted to show you guys a strategy using one of my favorite towers in the game. Speaking of favorite towers in the game, please feel free to let me know in the comments below what your guys' favorite towers in the games are. My personal favorite hero is, of course, going to be the best boy Quincy, especially with the Wolfpack Quincy skin. Then my favorite tower is going to be a toss-up between either the middle pathway wizard or, of course, the druid, and which you guys have already seen both of my favorite towers between the Impoppable Monkey Meadow guide and, of course, this guide itself. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the point where we have the whopping $60,000 in order to afford the Wizard Lord Phoenix. So guys, sit back, relax. I hope you guys enjoy this little bit of a speedy bit. Alright guys, here we are on round 84, and as you guys can see, we almost have enough money, and now we officially have enough money to afford the Wizard Lord Phoenix. So now that we have the Wizard Lord Phoenix, we officially have a permanent Phoenix that's pretty much has global range. So it's going to be able to deal with all of these OMGs and all these BFBs pretty much by itself. Now, we're pretty much good to go all the way up until like round 96. I think round 96 is when we start to struggle just a little bit. But for the most part, this is pretty much the strategy. I don't want to call it an AFK strat because, I mean, you do need to buy all of the upgrades. But it is definitely a strat that you really don't need to pay too much attention to. Especially since, I mean, we have 5 towers placed down and a majority of the time was just spent sitting around waiting to save up enough money to go ahead and buy our Wizard Lord Phoenix. So guys, now at this point, the next thing that we want to do is we want to grab ourselves a monkey village. So with this village, we're going to go ahead and place it directly to the right of these 4 towers like so. We're going to go ahead and upgrade it to a jungle drums. Then once we have it upgraded to a jungle drums, we're going to go ahead and buy radar scanner. We really don't need radar scanner though, but it's more about the fact that we want the monkey intelligence bureau. The reason why we want the monkey intelligence bureau is because we want to make sure that all of our towers can pop every different type of tower in the game. More specifically, our Quincy. So I want to make sure that our Quincy can deal damage to the DDT balloons, because as of right now, the only towers that can deal damage to the DDT balloons is our Prince of Darkness and our Wizard Lord Phoenix. Now, those two by themselves should be more than enough to go ahead and deal with those balloons, but it's always nice to have that little bit of added popping power. So now at this point, the next thing that we're saving up for is we're actually going to be saving up for Call to Arms. The reason why I chose to go with the Call to Arms here is because it's a tower that I really don't use too much in Chimps, but I wanted to go ahead and mix things up just a little bit, and I actually wanted to go for it. I mean, it is kind of a cheaper tier 4 tower, especially when it's going to buff all of our towers, from our Prince of Darkness to our Wizard Lord Phoenix to our Quincy to our Ninja Monkey. Even though our Ninja Monkey is only a tier 4, it still does attribute to a good portion of our pops. I mean, it did kind of pop a majority of the balloons at the beginning of the game, but nonetheless, it's still helping pop all these balloons. I mean, when you only have 4 towers on the game, I mean, every little bit helps for sure. Now, if you guys want to go with a different tower, you guys don't need to go for the Call to Arms. Again, the only reason why I'm going with the Call to Arms is just to make sure we have that little bit of added popping power. If you guys want to swap things up and you guys don't want to go for the Call to Arms, you guys can actually go for a Permaspike. Now, with the Permaspike, I would recommend not going for the Monkey Village. I mean, I would go ahead and grab a Monkey Village and upgrade it to Jungle Drums. And then following that, I would go ahead and buy a Permaspike. So there we go. Now that we have our Call to Arms, we are pretty much good to go. I do want to grab a little bit of stall here. So what I'm going to end up doing is I am going to grab a glue gunner. I'm going to upgrade it to Moab glue with glue splatter. And what this is going to do is it's going to give our towers just a little bit more time to actually pop all of these Moab balloons. So now at this point in time, you guys are free to activate any ability you guys would like to. I'm going to go ahead and save the Call to Arms and the Wizard Lord Phoenix up until the point where we actually need it. But for the most part, the only round that we're actually going to need to activate these abilities is probably going to be on round 97, 98, and then I'm going to go ahead and try to save my abilities for round 100 because that bad balloon is a little bit of a pain to deal with. So let's go ahead and activate our Call to Arms really quick to go ahead and pop finish up round 97. Now on round 98, I'm going to go ahead and activate my Wizard Lord Phoenix's ability. Now the reason why I wanted to activate this ability on round 98 is just to make sure that we're able to deal with those ZOMGs because they can be a little bit of a pain to deal with. So now we only have the reinforced Moab balloons, and of course we have the BFBs left to deal with, but they're really no problem for our composition to deal with. Now on round 99, I'm going to go ahead and activate our Call to Arms. Then as soon as the BFB pops on screen, I'm going to go ahead and activate our Wizard Lord Phoenix, our Quincy, and I'm going to save Quincy's level 10 for as long as I can. So now at this point in time, we're pretty much just going to activate Call to Arms as soon as it gets off of cooldown. We're going to wait for the Wizard Lord Phoenix to get off of cooldown, then we're going to go ahead and activate that as well. So here's the Wizard Lord Phoenix, then we're going to activate our Quincy, and then next thing we're going to do, as soon as the COMGs are popped, we're going to go ahead and activate Quincy's level 10. And I know that sounded like a lot, guys, but in all truth, that was actually really simple to go ahead and pull off. Plus, we got a little bit of a different strategy here, utilizing the wizard monkeys. Another option that you guys had is you guys could have went for the trifecta of wizards, and you guys could have grabbed an archmage as well, and it pretty much would have worked out exactly the same. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's Chimps guide. If you guys enjoyed, please feel free to hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to subscribe as well. I do upload quite a bit of Bloons Tower Defense 6 content. But anyways, guys, you know what time it is. I hope you guys have the most amazing day of your lives. And I will see you guys in the next one.